Welcome back, y'all.
What up, fool?
Whoa.
Yeah, it's I'm bringing the heat.
Whoa. It's because it's so hot outside.
Ooh, feels like that could have been like the intro to like a rap song.
I know.
I feel like I really expected you to like,
man,
in another life. If you were cooler.
If we were cooler.
If you've listened to previous episodes, you know that we're wrestling with a bit of a crisis because we're coming into the knowledge that we're super lame. And we thought we were cool. We fancied ourselves. Yeah.
We thought we were cool. We're not.
We've been knocked down several pegs. It's all right.
It's fine.
We're wrestling it out.
We need to be humble. Hungry, humble, smart.
It hurts.
It does. Well, on that note, we're talking about rebuilding trust today when it's been broken.
when so good.
When your team has been so mean.
I didn't even tie that together. When you can't find the strength to go on because you're not as cool as you thought you were, this is what you can do when the trust has been cracked and you can rebuild.
Maybe our team isn't mean. They're just like, they're kind because they're clear.
They're like, get the hell out of the way. You're super not cool. Don't do this.
And then you have to rebuild trust with yourself because
yeah, that's really where we're at.
You thought you were cool and you're like, I need to trust myself again because I kind of am not cool.
I know.
I have it coming from all angles. I have teenage kids.
Yeah, there's like an 80s ballad playing in like a dark hallway and we're just walking down the hallway trying to like wrestle with our feelings.
Doing dance moves we can't actually hit the notes on anymore.
Yeah, and like our hips are too tight because we're too old.
Oh, I need some more mobility to do that.
All right.
Wow.
I love it.
All right, great. Well,
Good job,
on that
note, we're gonna talk about rebuilding trust, and it's gonna be great. And you're gonna feel so much better than we do when you leave this podcast.
If not, message us. We can be sad together.
Trust has to be earned, and when it has been broken, re-earning it is a really critical leadership skill. So what we're going to talk about today, or what I want people to leave with, is recognizing that continuing to build trust is a skill that has to continually be honed, right? We're all going to say things. We're all going to stick our foot in our mouth. We're all going to not communicate in a way that's in alignment with our values. We all have, right? You just miss the mark, and you could be trying your hardest, but like sometimes it doesn't land. Sometimes it's not because of anything you did. Somebody's having a bad day. They didn't sleep, whatever. And it just, it doesn't connect. You lose trust with that individual or a group of people.
Or yourself.
Yeah. Or like us. You're grappling with self-doubt because you're not cool anymore. Yeah. Maybe I was never cool. Man, gosh.
Don't say that.
We can't go there.
That's dark.
That's another podcast. Help Taylor get his cool back.
Oh, man. That could be a whole campaign.
Yep. All right. If you're out there, help us. Taylor needs his cool back. But until then, re-earning that trust is really a skill that has to be honed. So before we kick that off, what's your question?
Yeah. When is a time that you had to rebuild trust?
Every single day. No, I'm just playing.
I'm like, you don't break trust a lot.
I hope not. No.
You were very intentional, so I am curious to hear your answer on this.
Okay, let me think. I think probably on the personal front, I've had to rebuild trust with people that I wasn't able to show up for because I wasn't present for them, because I was focused on work.
Oh, yeah.
And so I didn't show up for those people in alignment with the commitment that I had made to them and in alignment with my values and how I want to show up. And if you do that enough, people stop believing that you're going to change your actions. So you could say like, oh no, like after this next trip, I just got to get through this work thing. I mean, in my case, it's just like this big, and then like that keeps happening and you keep not changing and you keep not showing up for people or not being present or they can tell when they're talking to you that your mind's elsewhere. Like, people eventually stop believing that you're going to change. And so, yeah, I learned that the hard way, and had to rebuild trust, and had to change my actions. I had to change my expectations of myself. I had to realign values and expectations, and make sure that I was showing up in the world outside of work, or showing up with the intensity in other relationships that I show up for in my work. Like,
That's good.
Yeah.
Super vulnerable. Thanks for going there.
I mean, on the heels of me finding out that I'm not cool, this feels like I'm just taking hit.
I'm sorry.
Taking hit after hit.
We're just getting punched in the face. No. We're here for it.
I appreciate the opportunity. No, I mean, that's something I want to share with people. I think,
I mean, that's a large part of our why we like really want leaders to be healthy, is so that they can show up for all areas of their life, not just be sunk in the thing that feels like the grind. Right?
Yep, totally.
So, okay, well, let's talk about how you did that.
How I broke trust.
How you fixed it. I won't take you further into it. That would be a Christine question.
Like, Jesus Christ, leave it alone.
You're like, in therapy on air, Christine?
It's like, shut it down. Right. Pull the plug.
No. Let's talk about how we rebuild trust. This is really hard. Like, this is not something, obviously, like, the stats are crazy. Most people would rather exit a relationship than rebuild trust. I don't remember the exact stat.
That doesn't surprise
it's like
me.
80 some or more percent would rather exit, ghost you because they suck, right? We all suck sometimes. We all lose it, drop the ball. But a lot of people will just tap out and go into their seventh core trigger and just walk away. And if you're one of our clients, you know what that means. If you are not one of our clients, come talk to us if you want to know what a seventh core trigger is. But most people will just walk away. And so you didn't walk away. And so let's talk about that. Like, let's talk about why trust gets broken in the first place and what that looks like, and then really walk people through how to rebuild it. So kick us off, my friend.
Great. First and foremost, you have to own it. And I think that's the piece that keeps people from to your statistic. That's why people would rather run. It's really hard to admit you're wrong. It's really hard to admit that it's your fault. Ooh. It's hard to admit that it's not somebody else's problem. It was my problem to own, and it wasn't anybody else's fault. And I had to own that. And specifically, I think you have to own it publicly, if that applies, meaning that you have to own it in front of the people that you have broken trust with. So it's not good enough to just recognize that yourself. That's part of the process, but you have to own it in front of the people with whom you've broken trust, because they're communicating that and allowing them to see that you recognize that that's happened is really the only way you're going to build that bridge moving forward. Otherwise, it's just going to happen in silence, and they're not going to pick up on the cues. So there needs to be a really intentional communication opportunity where you own it. So that's the first step, and it's the hardest, and it sucks.
And if you're listening and somebody's broken your trust, this is the same roadmap that you can use to help that person walk through this. This is what needs to happen if somebody has broken trust with you. So regardless of the side of the table you're on, this is a conversation for you if you've had trust broken.
Totally. And then next is to clarify what will be different. So it is not good enough to say, once you own it, great, super hard, you rip the Band-Aid off. Then it is not good enough to say, hey, I recognize that I broke your trust. I'm going to do better. Nope. You got to get specific, right? So you have to clarify what will actually be different. What actions are you taking? What things are you putting in place that are going to elicit some different response? And people have to see that, right? People like a roadmap, right? People want benchmarks, and you have to be able to provide that for folks. And so again, clarify what's going to be different. Get very, very specific. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. You can expect this from me. This is how I'm going to show up different. really get into specifics. Next, lastly, ask for accountability. So leaders go first, right? And or if you use is it Simon Sinek, leaders eat last? No, who is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simon Sinek.
So, right, you have to recognize that you, and I think vocalize that you can't do it on your own, knowing that you are not the strongest person in the room in this particular instance. So you need to ask for accountability, which means to use that saying like you're eating last, right? You're saying, hey, like this is not my strength. Like I'm going to sit back here and I really need you to hold me accountable because this is not something I'm good at. I've clearly dropped the ball. I've clearly broken trust. We've established that. I need you to hold my feet to the fire and set the tone for what that's going to look like. When you do this in an organization, it is so powerful, right? Leaders who do this first and exemplify this, it sets the tone for what support looks like. And how you actually move forward when things are challenging. Because again, it's not if but when. It's definitely going to happen. You just have to know how to move through it. So the other piece of this is that it's going to be harder than you expect. So like you do these things and you're like, yep, I owned it. Super clear, mapped things out, clear on the deliverables. I know what I need to do. I'm committed to changing. I've asked for accountability. Then the ship doesn't turn overnight, right? You broke that trust potentially, even if it was in a singular instance, that the kind of straw that broke the camel's back, that trust eroded over long periods of time. You took cumulative actions that led to that singular event. So it is going to be harder than expected to rebuild this. So talk us through what it actually looks like to rebuild. What does it take to rebuild trust?
Yeah, it takes 3 simple, not easy things: time, transparency, consistency. And I think it's really important that we lead into it with that. And so I think the thing that's important here is to give yourself and other people grace. And like the time piece, I think it can't be forever, right? But it's sometimes this one isn't like defined. It's not like, well, in 3 months. Like sometimes if we're talking about like a review, right? Like you didn't hit your quota, you didn't whatever, like you're not accomplishing your goals. Like, let's look at this for the next 3 months. I think it's important when we look at time, we have to actually have some milestones and benchmarks. What I will say though is when we're rebuilding trust, I think on the other side, say I'm the one who needs to build retrust, what can happen because the other person on the other side is hurt, it can turn into a shame game. So holding this like lack of trust over somebody's head forever is also not the move. It doesn't actually help people live free. It doesn't help us live free. Like forgiveness is a real thing. So on the other side, if the trust has been broken, you have to be dedicated to forgiveness and then understanding how to rebuild that relationship and rebuild, not just live in complacency and fear and hold that over the other person's head. And so time, keeping things transparent, talk about it, continue to talk about it, not bringing up old things, but talking about how you're doing and celebrating that transparency and like being like, hey, I saw this pattern pop up again. Let's talk about that, right? Like we've seen this from in leadership to addiction all across the boards. And so I think it's really important to like continue to have transparency on both sides of like how this is going. I think what can happen is we're like, okay, rebuilding trust. And then we like shove it under the rug and we're like, don't look at it. Don't talk about it. Don't, and so time, transparency, and then consistency. It has to be consistent. You have to keep doing it until it's rebuilt and you have to keep showing up for that. So those are the 3 keys to success with this, is just making sure that you really take all of those things into consideration and you take it slow, and life can happen while we're rebuilding trust. It doesn't mean every day has to be bad. It doesn't mean every day has to be filled with like the reminders of someone broke your trust. I think you can still create great results. You can still have great relationships in the pursuit of building trust. I think it can actually make your relationship stronger. I know from a client perspective, some of our best clients have come from a time maybe we dropped the ball or broke trust or something like that.
Totally.
Doesn't happen all the time, but I think when you take ownership, it builds that relationship. So, and you may just like not be able to fully earn trust back, but you can earn enough to lead well again. And so just take one step at a time and celebrate the wins. So to make this a real tactical leadership challenge.
Ding, 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 ding.
You guys are so welcome. What's our leadership challenge?
You know what it is.
I'm like, I do? I don't know. This is your challenge, not mine.
This week, ask your team, is there any trust that we need to repair?
I don't want to do this one.
Yeah. So this is own it, right?
We should do this.
Yeah, I know. It's tough. When we were thinking about this, I was like, "Whoa, this is brutal." Yeah, I mean, I think the reason the reason I think this is a good question, and I think that it is a really tactical application of this, is it puts you in a place where you can be proactive versus reactive, right? So, okay, we're talking about like, I broke trust. What if you could get ahead of it? So what if you could build into your culture language that supports never getting there, or at least dodging it most of the time? So this week, I want you to ask your people, is there any trust that we need to repair? And then be ready to hear, right? And be ready to act. So again, be ready to own it. Be ready to take ownership of that. Be ready to clarify what will need to be different if trust has been broken. And then, I think trust is really like the currency of a culture, and you really have to protect it at all costs. It's like you have a safe of like all your company's money. And if you would, it's like a bank, right? You would guard that at all costs. It's the thing that like no one can get into. You don't want anyone to break into that and steal it or take it or blow it up. And that's really what trust is. Like, if you have to protect it at all costs, because if it is taken, if it's eroded, if it's stolen, you have a real problem, right? Mm-hmm. You can't operate it the way that you normally would. And so do that this week. Really lean in. We're going to do it too. And we're going to report back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Stay posted on our social media. Like, we're actually going to do it. I'm like sitting here. I'm like, oof.
Yeah.
Like, that one's big, but I think it's totally needed. And so I'm actually excited. I didn't know if that's what the leadership challenge was, but whew.
Yeah. I'm
like, that one's real. And so, and like, yeah, I'm like, I would like to ask us the question back, like, I think there's like a way that we can do that on both sides.
Ooh, love it.
And talk about that in our team. So
if
you're brave like us, and you want a really good culture, do it. We're going to we should repost it on social media. This is real time. We should do this and then post it on social media. And so if you're going to do this, like, let us know. We're going to do it together.
You can tag us at make.yourimpact. We're on Instagram, and that'd be fun. Let's start a conversation. We're going to do it. We'll report real time the results. Again, that's make.yourimpact. Or you can reach out to us at impactinitiative.network. Let us know what's working, what's not, where you're stuck, where your wins are at. We'd love to be a part of the conversation. And last but not least, if you're in the Denver area at the end of July 30th and 31st, we'll be doing in-person events, and we'd love to have you. So if you're ready to step up, build a community, solve problems in your business, that is the place to show up. If you can't make it there, find us online. And until then, we'll see you next time on Impact Minded.
Bye, y'all.